Welcome. In this lecture, we will talk about restoration of lakes. In the previous lecture, we have already discussed eutrophication and how does it affect the aquatic life in the lakes. So, to just have a recap of what we discussed, what is eutrophication? It is actually increase in the amount of nitrates and the phosphates in the water bodies, and that actually happens because of either a sewage or an industrial outlet in that area. So, the amount of nitrates and phosphate increases, that ultimately leads to a bloom. It could be a algal bloom, it could be a bloom in the water hyacinths or duckweeds, and this creates a cover on the top. Now when it creates a cover on the top, the oxygen connect from the deep water bodies get cut off, and as a result the aquatic organisms started to get deficient oxygen and die. When the organisms die, the amount of carbon dioxide in the water increases. Now as a result, it would again increase the biochemical oxygen demand in the region, ultimately leading to more polluted and more difficult situations, we can say. So there are various factors that stress the lake. What is the factors? I already discussed eutrophication is one such factor. Now eutrophication would increase the nutrient load, and this nutrient load when increased would ultimately have unwanted plant growth and would kill the fishes in the bottom. I already explained that. If the water level declines, it could be because of overuse or excessive drinking water, or increase in the outflow, which could be because of any of the reasons that could lead to increase in eutrophication or salt concentration. So again, in that case, restoration of lake becomes important. If the lakes are acidified, this could be because of the acid rain of sulfur or nitrates, so leading to sulfuric acid or nitric acid. This would actually lead to lower or declining pH since it is acidic rain. Then there would be absence of hydrogen carbonate, and ultimately the species diversity would reduce from that region. If a microbial infection or saprobiosization is there, then this could actually affect the organic matter and oxygen would deplete, finally killing the fishes again. Salinization, if the amount of saline water increases, that could be because of the higher transpirational losses by irrigation or salt layers being exposed. Now this would affect the lake size, this would affect the through flow from the lake, and then the contamination. This contamination could be from sewage, from industrial waste, from pesticides from agriculture, again leading to eutrophication and obstructing the oxygen and therefore depleting the oxygen and affecting the fish population or the growth. Now therefore we need to understand that approaches are really important. Now whenever a lake is there, there is a adjustment of the catchment drains. Now what are the factors that affect those? This could be the meteorological factors, this can be because of the soil type, the geology, rainfall, density, catchment. All of these factors affect the catchment size of the lake. Now there are three important methods that we would understand under the direct method to reclaim the lake areas. These are physical, chemical and ecological methods. We'll understand these one by one. And then there are certain management and preventive methods, which includes enforcing the laws, not to allow sewage being going into the lakes, not allowing industrial waste to go into the lakes, and so on and so forth. Now in the lake, very important concept to understand is the riparian zone. Now riparian zone is the zone within the lake which is considered a region with a significant biome, and it affects or influences the water cycle significantly. There are various other independent nutrient cycles which are also affected, and this reduces the surface and the subsurface volume. So it protects the banks from erosion, the riparian zone. Okay, it would lower the concentration of pollutants in the region. It would reduce the amount of dissolved organic material, because as we have understood in the previous lectures, in the sections of environmental chemistry, we have seen if there are more organic matter, to decompose that it would require oxygen, because there would be oxidation of those organic compounds. Now since oxygen would be utilized for these organic matter, what would happen? The amount of oxygen which is available in the water bodies for aquatic organisms would reduce. Ultimately the the impact would be the dissolved oxygen in the water bodies reduces, affecting the life of the aquatic organisms or affecting the flora and the fauna in the region, right? Also, if there is a new wetland which is constructed, again to control the threat of nutrient loading is really important for that, and for that, using the various approaches to introduce water quality, maintain the water quality in the lake is really important. So managing the sewage effluent nicely, managing the industrial waste nicely is a cause of concern. So in this section, we would understand certain approaches for restoration of the lakes. One such approach, as we said, involves management. The other techniques involve the physical, chemical and ecological methods. So let's move on those one by one. So first of all, we would talk about the physical techniques, but before we begin with physical techniques, let's talk about, in summary, the management aspects. So management aspect, as I said, enforcing through the law is one such effort. Then the catchment drains could be adjusted. That means, so far if the catchment area